So the very first training that we need to accomplish in person for the using the computer is to learning some concepts of Linux operating system. I think the advantage of learning Linux operating system that you will use your computer in a way that you are able to dealing with computer. Um, so let me, if you have using a Mac, then you are in good hand because Mac actually is a Linux operating system. So what you need, the very first thing is I tell you there is an application called Terminal. Right now, Terminal is in my desk on my launch box, so I can just directly launch it, and you can see this screen where this give me a terminal, and then you can type this Linux command, and we will learn to install some Python and Jupyter Notebook on your system by typing command in the terminal. Now, if you don't see this terminal, I tell you where you can find it. It's actually you go to your application, and usually it should be in the other, like other application. I have a folder on the other, and you will find terminal. Oh, I'm sorry, my terminal happens to be hidden, but you can move over. Did you see this terminal? Yeah, so you just click that terminal, and it will lead you to this terminal screen. So once you get the terminal prompt, and this is called the Linux prompt, and then you actually are using the computer by typing command. I want you to be familiar with several commands. One command is tell where you are whenever at the prompt. For example, when I say where you are, I'm referring like at this particular prompt, which directory you are at. So when I type pwd, that tells me what is my current directory, and if I hit return, it prompt says /users Youngmei Wang, and you can go to different directory. For example, in order to move to a different position of the file, you use a command called the cd, and I can say cd 2 dots /. So that means now I move to a directory above where I was currently. So now if you type pwd, and you notice the answer is /user. So I move one directory up. And you can also take a look under that directory what kind of files or folders you have. So you can use the command called ls, and you leave a space, you type -l, and you can see that this is all of the users that I have on my MacBook Pro. I have a guest account, I have a shared, I have my 2 kids, Jojo Levi, and myself. And then I can go back to cd Youngmei Wang, and now I'm at /users Youngmei Wang. And then I can type ls-l, and you will see now I have a lot more files under my user. There's application, there's desktop, documents, and a lot of files. So there is a particular directory that I made myself called the Youngmei_Linux, and this is where I put all my files that I created using on this Jupyter Notebook, on this command prompt, or I work with the computer directly through this kind of environment. I put it over there, and it really doesn't matter. You can actually find that directory using the regular Finder, like Apple over here, right? You can say new Finder window. So Finder window, I have Youngmei Linux over here, and even if it's not, you can go to document. Oh no, it shouldn't be document. It's probably under the home directory, Youngmei Wang, and then you will find Youngmei Linux, right? Okay, but I want you to have this concept that you can move around to see what's on the computer, not by click, but rather by typing commands through terminal. And this concept, this understanding is very important because when we're working with coding, dealing with files, we're most likely gonna dealing with files that's sitting up in the air. And so we should be able to download, copy file remotely by typing command, not by click and drop. And I know most that differentiates between a coder versus say a user. User just like to click using the file, but a coder actually is editing files, copy file, move file by issuing command. So the very first lesson you need to know is to how to create and move around on the Linux environment. Now you can also learn Linux command by go some website to learn more. The good website that you can visit, actually you can Google it, like Linux tutorials, okay? And you will find there's a lot of Linux tutorial. So I recommend this one, the Linux command line for beginners. You can take a look at this tutorial to learn a little bit about opening a terminal, and I showed you how to open a terminal for a Mac user, and then how to create folders and files, and moving and manipulating files, and yeah, and a bit of what is this one. Well, you just go ahead, learn this one on your own, okay? So this is the very first part, learning Linux command on your Mac user, on your MacBook. All right, so that will be it.